Which is better, this or this?
Hold! Give them nothing, but take from them everything! Stay! That's the best you can do!
In today's video, I'm going to talk about how to do mass combats. While I'm using some movie clips to prove my points, this is about cinematic battles in your novel, or perhaps if you want to learn how to create awesome battles in a role-playing game or something like that, then this video will be useful. In either case, you've come to the right place. My name is Jesper and I'm a Danish best-selling fantasy author. This channel is all about giving you inspiration to master your craft and create fantasy that will truly immerse your audience. Make sure to subscribe to receive a notification every single Monday as I release a new video. Alright, let's get into it. Was the John Carter clip or the clip from 300 the better? Do I have to tell you? Yes? Alright, if you're twisting my arm. I do find 300 absolutely awesome, okay? So there, I said it. Whether they are great or not is not really the point here though. Instead, let's use these two clips to see two ways in which battle can go wrong when we ourselves are creating them. For some strange reason, movies works differently than stories being told, either in written or verbally. We don't have the same sort of cinematic effects at our disposal. Darn it! But that doesn't mean that we can't make the battle memorable. There are things that both these two clips do very well, yet they also share a common pitfall that we tend to carry into our own storytelling because we see it so often portrayed like this in movies. Can you guess what it is? No. It's not that both John Carter and the soldiers of Troy seems to be sort of fighting in their underwear. A common mistake we storytellers tend to make when we are creating mass combat scenes is to zoom in way too far. When we're showing blow-by-blow action in a movie, it can look spectacular. But for the rest of us, it quickly becomes boring. While you might think that it's cool to have your characters locked in combat for pages upon pages, showing all the swings and all the misses, it really isn't interesting at all. No, seriously, don't do it. What we, on the other hand, can take away from these two clips is how a mass combat isn't really about the mass combat. Let me do that again. The mass combat isn't really about the mass combat. No, instead it's about the characters. For the battle to feel epic, the enemies needs to fall quickly, just like they did in both these clips. We also need to make use of descriptions in order to make it feel terrifying in relation to the characters. So allow me to paraphrase something I explained in the video on how to write fight scenes. I've placed a link to that video here on the screen if you want to check it out. But anyways, this stuff fits in well here. Medieval combat in a fantasy setting needs to be scary. I mean, really scary. It's hard to comprehend in our modern culture what it would actually take to stand face to face with an enemy, staring him straight into the eyes. Thank God we don't know. But where modern battles are long and hard, fighting in ancient times were quick and devastating. Think about for yourself a moment. Can you really imagine yourself on the battlefield, holding one end of a spear and drive it into the chest or face of another human being? No, I don't blame you. That's the sense we need to give when we're delivering a mass combat. It's chaotic and absolutely terrifying. We're talking fear grabbing a hold on grown-ass men. Chaos can be delivered by the characters being locked in battle, and then a young soldier perhaps runs to their aid, only to get trampled by a charging elephant or a monster or something like that. You see what I mean? Fear can be delivered by describing the blood, the screams, the smoke and fire, and the things that makes up brutality of what's going on. Unless your character is a trained soldier, this stuff should really affect him or her. Do you agree? Give me a yes in the comment section below, or a no if you dare. On to the next one. So, you like Lord of the Rings? I see.
Arise, riders of Theoden! Spears shall be shaken! Shields shall be splintered! A sword day! A red day! And the sun rises!
Whatever happens, stay with me. I'll look after you.
To create this awesomeness, don't you? Seriously, I got the shivers watching that myself. Well, once again, be careful. The other thing that will make your mass combat boring is when you zoom out too far, following the action on the battlefield like an eagle in the sky. That also becomes very boring. Alright, so you're telling me that I cannot zoom in on the character action too far, and now you're saying that also zooming out too much is a problem. Make up your mind, Jesper. Maybe I just leave the zoom button altogether then and not write these mass combat. Alright, calm down, my friend. Yes, indeed, I agree that this is a very fine balance to walk. It's not easy to make a mass combat exciting. Why do you think I recorded a video about this in the first place? So, here's the gist of it. We want to follow the characters on the battlefield. We want to have those rather gory descriptions that makes us feel the horror and randomness of it all. Yet, you need that extra ingredient that allows you to zoom out once in a while, just for a bit, before you sort of plunge right back into the action. And what ingredient is that? Watch this video clip for a second, and while you watch it, consider what we can take away from it.
Bring me ahead. Battalion!
Arise and stand with me!
Hold the line!
watch the movie yourself if you want to see what happens, but there is 2 things in this clip that we can replicate in order to make our own mass battles more interesting. The first is to use the environment. In this case, the environment is symbolized by the monsters that come out of the ground. But why not use thunderstorms, heavy rain that obscures the sight of the archers, or forest fires, or anything you can come up with? Nature is a great tool that allows you to do just that, zoom out once in a while, where you can sort of describe how the character sees the entire left flank being devastated by lightning, opening up for an enemy attack. So you can surprise your audience like that. And then you can zoom in again and focus on the character's battle. Don't go overboard and have every single mass combat full of natural disasters. Of course not. Be creative. That's you, the storyteller. You are the creative one. I promised you 2 things we could learn from that clip. The second is how there is a personal grudge between the 2 major figures on the battlefield. Establishing something like that early on in the battle is an excellent way to give your audience a satisfying conclusion when that duel finally takes place at the end of the scene. But I can't have the character killing my antagonist at this point. I need the antagonist for later. No, fair enough. Use an enemy lieutenant or something like that. Somebody who sort of points out the protagonist early on in the combat, like almost challenging our hero, and then deliver that resolution while the antagonist flees the scene. There is nothing wrong with that. I hope you found this video inspirational. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Share this video with your friends and make sure to subscribe. I'll be back with a new video next Monday. I also have a full fantasy novel which you can download for absolutely free. It's called Desolation, and it's the first installment in the Keystone trilogy. It's got magic, demons, dragons, and everything you would expect to find in a tale of epic fantasy. Go ahead and download your free copy now. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there and see you next Monday.